What is going on, guys? It's Neroku here, and today I'm going to be bringing to you some of the dinos that I really want to be added into Ark Survival. So pretty much I have a huge list of them. I did my research. I went on the computer and I pretty much put a list together of all the ones that I thought are just super badass and just awesome and that should be added into the game. The Indominus Rex. So this thing is completely insane. Look at it. Just freaking look at it. It's literally a mix of like a T-Rex and a Giga, and it's just like mutated both of them together and just squished them all up, and bam, that's the Indominus Rex. So this thing pretty much is just huge. I really want it to be added to Ark just as like a new type of dino, just because, you know, we've had the Giga and the Rex since the start of the game. Like, we need something new. And what I really want is for the developers to like make another map maybe sometime in the future and just add the Indominus Rex into it instead of like the Giga, for example. The Gorgonopsid. So I'm sorry, I probably just put cancer in your ears. I am so bad at pronunciation, but pretty much this thing is a freaking large tooth, 10-foot long carnivore back prehistorically. So these things are super fast, and pretty much think of it as a buffed up, jacked up, on steroids saber tooth. So this thing is super fast. It's kind of like, according to scientists, you know, like I said, a huge tooth, scaly type of skin. So it shared both reptile and mammal like features. So it's kind of like a mix of a saber tooth, and I guess you could kind of like some features of a lizard, I guess you could say. But this thing is super sick. I want it to be added to Ark just because of the features that it has. They could incorporate some type of like thing that it does in the game, like some type of like buff that it does to the animals around you, kind of like the Utahraptor, something like that. It'd be cool just because it's a new type of animal. I haven't seen any type of like, you know, wolf with like reptile like skin on it, and it'd just be awesome. Next up here we have the Scutosaurus. So once again, I'm sorry if I pronounced that weird, but it is pretty much this massively built reptile. It is about 10 feet long in length and has like body armor and spikes on its skull. So kind of think of a Moschops in Ark. So a Moschops that has armor on its head and upper body and spikes on its head. So I guess you could say an armored Moschops that's a little bit bigger, and it's just as slow as the Moschops, or about, and it's really powerful. Like, it has a really powerful bite. It's like a tanky little Moschops. It is awesome, the Scutosaurus, and it's a herbivore as well. So these would be awesome in Ark. You could have them as like a pet when you're a beginner, and I just think different types of dinos that early beginners could tame or just kill if you really wanted to, but it'd be a little bit more armored. Like, it has armor on it, so it'd be more powerful, and it'd be really good for beginners. Next up here we have the Carcharodontosaurus. So this thing is a large carnivore around the same size as the T-Rex, Giga, and Spino. So it's right in between like the Rex, the Spino, and the Giga, somewhere around there. Anyways, they have huge jaws, large teeth, and can lift about half a ton of weight. So it's preying, you know, it's killing things, and it lifts up its prey, which could weigh up to 1,000 pounds. Think of the power this thing has. That is completely insane. I really want it to be added to Ark just because it's like a new, different type of tame. And if, like I said earlier, if the developers do make a new map, it would be an awesome, awesome new type of dino to put into it. Up next, we have the Albertosaurus. So this thing is a fast raptor-like carnivore. So it lived in Western North America like a million years ago, something crazy like that. And it has two tiny fingered hands and a massive head with like a ton of teeth on it. It's insane. So this thing, it's kind of, think of it like a speedy mini T-Rex. So a midget T-Rex, you could say. So these things, an Albertosaurus, I freaking love the name, first of all, and I really want it to be added to Ark. Just once again, something new, something just, you know, popping. Look at this thing. It's awesome. It's like, it's gonna be fast. If they did add it, it'd be a fast tame, kind of like an Allosaurus, I guess you could think. The enemy to it would be the Allosaurus, just because they're like, you know, similar in size, but I feel like the Albertosaurus would be much faster than the Allo. Up next here, we have the Placodermi. So this is the first fish actually on the list. So, or I guess you could say like underwater dino. So it is a half-armored tanky fish. So it's among some of the first jawed fish ever, and it's kind of like a bottom dweller. It always stayed at the bottom of the ocean. So if they did add it to Ark, it'd be chilling down there at the bottom of the ocean near supply drops or the loot crates, whatever they are. They'd be down there near the pearls, near everything, like down below, really deep. They wouldn't be coming up. You wouldn't see them unless you were like deep sea diving. And they had bony fins. They were pretty intimidating, but I feel like if someone did try to tame this thing, it would be an awesome tame for raids. It'd be good for tanking because of the armor, and that's why I want it to be added. Next up here, we have the Nanotyrannus. This thing is a speedy carnivore. It is about 16 feet in length and about 2,000 pounds. So it has a multicolored head. It looks so cool. I put it on this list just because of how cool it looks. So it's has like a large dangerous bite. So prehistorically it was really powerful. It killed a lot of things. It was just a hunter. But this thing had multicolored head, which made it stand out. It made it a little bit different. That's why I wanted to add it to the list. There were hundreds, thousands of dinosaurs that, carnivores back in the day, but this thing stood out just because of the multicolored head. It looks so sick. Imagine going into a raid with a pack of these things. Look how cool your tribe would look if you had a pack of these Nanotyrannuses. The Majungasaurus. So, at first appearance, it kind of looks like, I guess you could say like a rooster. It's about 2,400 pounds and 23 feet in length as an adult. It has stocky long legs, so kind of, it's a little bottom heavy, I guess you could say. And it resembles a Patchy in-game. So it has much more teeth than the Patchy though. So think of it as like I said, a bigger version of the Patchy. I guess you could say a terror bird and a Carno had a baby. That's what this thing is. So it has like the resemblance of a type of bird, I guess you could say. And this thing is so powerful because of its like, just because of like the structure of it. It's different. It has like a pecking type of style, and I think it would just be an awesome addition to Ark. Next up here, we have the Utahraptor. So this was the biggest raptor ever found in history. So this thing was 1,500 pounds, and it actually did star in the classic Jurassic Park. I don't know if you guys remember it, maybe you recognize it, but it was about 20 feet long, and it had gigantic curved claws which could slash open its prey. That just seems so intimidating. That's just freaking scary. So what I envision in Ark, if this was added, it would be kind of like a raptor and a Therizino, because the Therizino has huge claws, really dangerous, and I feel like if the Utahraptor was added to Ark, when it did hit its prey or whatever it was attacking, it would do some type of blood damage, like over time it gradually start, it would keep dying for a period of time. I feel like that's what would happen if it was added to Ark, just because of the claws and how unique it was, while still being a raptor, like classified as a raptor. So I think this is a sick dino that should be added to Ark. And the long-awaited last one, the biggest dinosaur ever found in history, the Argentinosaurus. So this thing is, if you just do a quick Google search on this thing, you can find out so much about it. But pretty much this thing lived about 100 million years ago and is said to be the biggest dino ever. So it lived in South America and was about 100 tons. Think about that. 100 tons. That is insane. This thing was so big. It goes about 5 miles an hour, so it's kind of like the Titanosaur. So the reason why I want this to be added to Ark is just because it is just so unique. It is so it's the biggest dino like ever. Why would they not put it into Ark? You know what I mean? I feel like it would get a lot of different people to come together to try to tame this thing. It would just be a huge challenge. So I'm not sure if they would add this as a boss that you try to kill. That would probably be the best idea, just because the Titanosaur is already around for taming if you want to tame it. But I feel like the Argentinosaurus would be a boss if they did add it into Ark, something that you could all come together and attack it, or maybe they would add it for a tame. But anyways, that is the Argentinosaurus. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. I don't really know how many different dinos I said here today. I think I said maybe like 10, 12, but anyways, they were pretty insane. I thought that if all these dinos were added to Ark, obviously there'd be a lot of dinos in Ark. So that's why I think that the developers should make a separate map, maybe add some of these in, kind of like what they do right now. Like in Scorched Earth, they added different dinos in that aren't in like the island. In Ragnarok, they did the same thing, like with the Griffin. So I feel like they should make another map, and if they did make another map, I'd be happy if they added only one of the dinos I just mentioned, just because, you know, there are thousands of dinos that they can choose from. But yeah, if you guys did like any of the dinos that I did mention, and you do want it to be added to Ark, make sure to comment down below what your favorite one was. And yeah, and if there are any that I didn't mention and you really like, make sure to comment it down below, because I do want to check out some more. This was really interesting, actually. But anyways, guys, I will see you in my next video. Peace.